Alex Hayden here, welcoming you back to beautiful Watkins, Glen, New York for today's Go Bowling at the Glen qualifying session. And all other tracks we utilize single car qualifying, but for road courses like we're at here today, we'll have two different time sessions to set the field for tomorrow's race. It should be exciting. 7 of the last 10 winners here have come from inside the top 5, which really narrows down who has the best odds for tomorrow's race. With yesterday's practice and that stat, we have a few favorites going into today. But with how these sessions go, anything can happen. Look for plenty of games to be played and drivers to try to get a clear track to give themselves the best opportunity. Looks like we have cars heading to the track.
And with that being said, welcome ladies and gentlemen to tonight's live stream coverage of the Go Bowling at the Glen on NASCAR 21 Ignition on our final season. 4 races to go in the regular season to not only crowning a regular season champion, but of course also crowning who are going to be the 16 drivers racing for a championship in the final 10 races when the playoffs begin. Coming into today's race, our driver Ryan Blaney has jumped up 2 spots in the standings inside the top 10, 3 spots with a max point stay at New Hampshire, winning both stages and the race in the last race on the Magic Mile. But coming into today's race, he's going to have a little bit of work cut out for him. This is going to be an interesting task as his last road course event at Road America. If you remember, he might have finished well in the stages first and second, but he was not able to get back through the field. And when he did actually get back through the field, he ended up wrecking from the lead with 4 laps to go. Going to have to keep his nose clean today. He's going to want a shot to move up a couple more spots before the end of the regular season. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content as we get into tonight's full race live stream. Realistic commentary on the NASCAR video game side of things tonight. Going to give myself a little bit of a loose setup. 2 laps in session 1 to qualify in the top 12. We'll advance into session number 2. Billy Kramer, Restall Cup, Santiago Kid, NASCAR Fan 88, R6, Rod G, Joshua Rumsey, and others, welcome into the stream. And Blaney will take the green flag for his first lap. He's got a lot of traffic coming out of the pits in front of him, which is going to make things interesting into the S's as they're trying to get up to speed. Blaney's going to have to get around him. This is going to impede his opening lap time, I'd have to imagine. Then he's going to send it in on Harvick into the bus stop. He's coming in hot. I'm surprised he got the car to slow up as much as he did. Good thing he's going to give himself another lap after this one, because he is in some pretty big dirty air. Just going to get to the outside of Ross Chastain in the 42. Makes a pass on him off turn 5. He'll shoot the gap into turn 6 underneath Corey LaJoie in the 7. Just gets by him cleanly. Blaney does have 2 road course wins in the first 4 road course races. Hamlin won at Road America. Blaney at Sonoma and Coda got the wins at both of those tracks, and Michael McDowell won the Daytona road course race earlier this season. Blaney getting around the 55 of Matt Mills at the start-finish line. Not a bad first lap, 112.8. I don't think that's going to be enough for the top 12 to get him into session number 2. He's going to have to pick it up here on lap 2. He's going to catch Quinn Houff in likely a pretty terrible spot off the S's. He's going to get into the back of Quinn Houff. He was pushing extra hard there to try and see if he can get underneath him, but Houff closed the door. Now Quinn Houff lets him through on this next long straightaway before heading down into the bus stop. It's only a 90-lap race today. That's why track position's so important. The first 2 stages, each only 20 laps. Around this just short of a 2.5-mile road course. FedEx Cup Series, welcome to the stream. Brendan Littlejohn, welcome into the stream as well. Pretty good final 3 corners for Ryan Blaney this time, and as he goes back to the start-finish line, up the hill, quicker, 110.996, and we'll see if that will be enough to get into the top 12. Going to be close. Oh, it was close. 10th fastest for Ryan Blaney in session 1, so he will advance. Chase Elliott, top of the charts with a 109.627. About 9 1/100th of a second ahead of William Byron, almost a full 1/10 of a second over Byron from Session 1 to Session 2. 10 minutes now. That's all these drivers are going to get for Session 2. Fastest time of these 12 drivers going out on the racetrack will have the pole for today's race. Apex Racing League, welcome to the stream as well. Don't push it too much, save your tires. There's no saving tires in qualifying. What are you talking about? In the race, I see that, but now qualifying, you're trying to put together the fastest lap you can possible. Oh, Blaney's going hot into turn 1. He kept it off the wall. Could have been worse. Some of that was the game with it going full speed to the start-finish line. You're actually carrying a little more speed into turn 1 than what you normally would. That's how this game works. Derek Booth, welcome into the stream. See you in the chat as well. 3 straight nights of NASCAR 21 Ignition on the channel to kickstart this week's action. Tomorrow night will be road course racing at the Indianapolis road course for the Verizon 200 at the Brickyard, followed by a 400-mile race at Michigan in the Firekeepers Casino 400 on Wednesday night. NASCAR 06 Cup race on Thursday, leading into the weekend. Next live commentary live stream will be on Sunday afternoon of the Cup Series race at New Hampshire. I don't think this is a bad first lap outside of turn 1, so the lap time is obviously not going to be great. Slower than any of the 2 laps he put together in that first round, but if he can replicate what he did the rest of the lap outside of turn 1, I think he's going to get a pretty good lap together here. When he downshifted when he should have upshifted, that's going to cost him a little time. So a little hiccup on each of the first 2 laps now. How many Talladega races have I won? On this game in particular, I have no clue. I think I've won 1 on this game. This season I finished 4th, if I remember correctly, the first Talladega race. If you're talking about NASCAR 06, I won 1 there. The EA Sports games, I've won a few of them. I want to say I probably won 3 Cup races. For whatever reason, Daytona's a lot harder in the EA Sports games for myself versus Talladega. I mean, they're still both difficult in their own right. Blaney's pushing extra hard the rest of this lap. And he'll try it again. He's got just over 5 minutes yet. There's no live leaderboard in qualifying, so it's tough to tell where he's exactly at on the board. And he is just pushing way too hard down into turn 1 right now. He did that on that first lap of this round. He did it on lap 3 of this round. Blaney's going to pit. He's going to try to cool the engine down and then go back out and make a couple more laps. That is going to be the plan, so he'll race to get to pit road this time. 1:10.707 was that last lap for Ryan Blaney. That was similar to where he ran in his fastest of the 2 laps in Session 1, where he got a 10th place starting position. At least he's guaranteed to start in the top dozen, so he won't be starting deep in the field, which is good. And again, he's got 2 road course wins this season, and he also, on top of the 2 road course wins, has 6 stage wins on road courses of the 13 stage wins he has total this season. For Express, welcome to the stream. I'm going for the pole. I don't think these first 3 laps are going to do it. Blaney going to try to get to pit road, so going to try to cool this engine down just a bit. And I should get back onto the racetrack with a decent amount of time left. I would imagine enough time to make 2 more laps. Well, this is kind of weird. So much for cooling the engine down. It didn't take me back to the ground. Oh, wait a minute. This is weird. Why are we pulling into Chase Elliott's pit box? I'm confused. Oh, okay. What was that? I've never seen that before. Oh, we need to get back out there. I was not expecting that. That wasted a little extra time than what I thought it was going to. Usually just automatically throws you into the garage. Instead, we pulled into Chase Elliott's pit box. And we only lost about 30 seconds, so that was odd also. Alright, well, maybe Blaney's got enough time for 3 laps then. Give it to this game to do something like that. That was odd. I don't know what that was. Oh my goodness. I pulled into Elliott's box like we were going to make a pit stop. This has not been a good second session for Ryan Blaney right now. He's got one car closing in behind him. I can't tell who that is. I think it might be Eric Almirola in the 10 car. He's pulling him though, so we won't have to worry about him having a battle. I think he's going to have time for 2 more laps. They got 1 extra lap in than what I was originally expecting. I don't think this is going to be a great lap. 1:11.961, so he's going to have to really pick up the pace. Yeah, time is running out. It's going to be very close on if he could actually get back to the start-finish line to get 3 laps in, but I don't think he's going to be able to. It's really tight in the S's. He kept it on the racetrack, though. It wasn't bad. This is definitely the best lap so far through the first half of a lap. See if he can keep it going in the right direction for the back half of the lap. Wide arc into turn 5. Diamonds the corner off, back down to the bottom. On exit. This is a really, really good lap. 2 more corners for Ryan Blaney, turn 6 and 7. Good through turn 6. Pushing wide. 1 car in front of him is going to be pitting, but he'll be out of the way. Back to the start-finish line. Blaney will have 1 more lap after this one. This is going to be his fastest lap, 1:09.840. Chase Elliott had a 1:09.7. So it's not as fast as Elliott in session 1. He's about 1/10 of a second off. Oh, that was not as good through the S's that time as what he was the lap before. He's going to have to really pick it up the back half of this final lap of qualifying. Sending it into the bus stop. All the way down to first gear. He actually got it to stick all the way through. He's going a bit wide in turn 5 though as he diamonds the corner off. Maybe not as good as what he was the last lap at turn 5 as well. Michael Turner, Mark DeMars, welcome in. Through turn 6. Blaney's coming in hot into 7. Bit of a wheel hop that time. I don't think this lap is as fast as the last one. He was pushing hard. Back to the start-finish line. It was about a full second or so slower. So 1:09.840 is going to be the lap for Ryan Blaney. I don't know why I didn't end the session when I hit the start-finish line that time, but we'll see. Pole for Ryan Blaney. Wow. So the lap time has dropped off just a little bit. It's showing me 2 seconds ahead of everybody else. That's not right. And Chase Elliott at a 1:09.7. I can't remember the exact lap time, but it was a 1:09.7 in session 1. A 1:09.8 is going to be a pole time for Ryan Blaney. But it's showing Chase Elliott like 2 seconds behind us. That didn't make any sense. But Chase Elliott going to start outside of the front row despite winning session number 1. And for the second straight race, Ryan Blaney on the pole just like at New Hampshire. Kyle Busch, William Byron will be in row number 2. Kevin Harvick, Tyler Reddick, row 3. Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, row 4. Hard Trucks Jr., Austin Dillon in row number 5. I was not expecting to get the pole. I was expecting probably like 3rd through 5th, to be completely honest.
Welcome to Watkins Glen International. I'm Alex Shaden, and we're here today at one of NASCAR's favorite road courses.
It's kind of cool that you can see the trees moving.
Gives teams lots of strategic options.
I don't know if that's supposed to happen or not.
Making some interesting calls
I feel like it wasn't supposed to happen.
As they try to get track position and make some moves up the field.
I can't take Chase Elliott seriously with his mustache, by the way, also. I feel like it reminds me of like one of those early 20-year-olds that are trying to grow out facial hair for the first time. And it just doesn't look right.
It's time to fire the engines. Let's go bowling at the Glen and head trackside for the command.
Bowl me a winner. We'll see if Ryan Blaney can do just that today. Make sure the setup stayed all right. He's going to have to take it easy into turn one. He had a couple laps where he went a bit wider than what he wanted to in qualifying, specifically in that second session when he was trying to get to the pole. For Ryan Blaney, he did keep it off the wall, but obviously turn one at Road America was tough. This corner maybe not as difficult, but we'll see. Why is Denny Hamlin on the front row? What the heck is... Green flag is in the air at Watkins Glen. I don't know how, but Denny Hamlin started on the front row despite the fact Chase Elliott was second in qualifying. And Hamlin is going to beat Ryan Blaney, the pole sitter, through turn one. And Blaney's going to have to try to get him back now. Good run through the S's for Blaney, and he's going to look to make the pass early on Hamlin into the bus stop. No, Hamlin really late into braking. Blaney probably could have pushed it a little bit harder. Fight to lead the opening lap, side by side, into turn 5. Blaney on the inside, he doors the 11 of Hamlin. The two drivers who have won each of the last 3 road course races combined. Blaney is going to take the lead off turn 5. Pulling away from everybody else behind him on this opening lap. Elliott stuck behind Kyle Busch in the 18 car. And as they go into turn 6, I think Blaney should be able to hold on to lead the opening lap from the pole today. 20 laps in stage 1, 20 laps in stage 2, 45 laps in the final stage of today's race. And the fuel window will be 26 to 27 laps. Should not play the game until September. Well, I wanted to finish the season I was on. I just took a long break from it because I couldn't handle it anymore. But I did want to finish the season that I was on. I told you guys that once I start something, I'll always finish it. Same thing with the World of Outlaw Sprint Car Series. I took a break from it only because NASCAR season started back up again. I plan on finishing that career mode next offseason. It was a lot longer than what I thought it was going to be, so I couldn't finish it last offseason. Logano Fan 22, welcome to the stream. I'm Joey. Not the Joey Logano, I'm assuming, but if your name's Joey, welcome, Joey. Lenny just trying to set the pace early on. Don't worry about smoke coming out of the rear tires. It's not Blaney locking the brakes up or wheel hopping the race car at all. It's just this game when you get below 100 miles an hour, it tends to do that on a consistent basis. And 20 people watching from really the second session of qualifying, so thanks for everybody tuning in tonight. Hit that like button. Again, subscribe for more daily NASCAR content if you haven't already. And thanks so much for helping this channel grow over the last several months, as we have just eclipsed 2,500 subscribers after last night's live commentary of the NASCAR Cup Series race at Atlanta. Another small feat in the channel's history last night. And let's see if we can get to 3,000 before the end of the regular season, which I did say I think we can do that a couple weeks ago, and I think we're still on pace to be able to do that. Got what, month and a half yet? Maybe a little longer than that even. Glen's definitely pulling away with this clean air advantage right now. Everybody's going to be able to make it on fuel without having to pit in stage 1. It's a pretty cut and dry for this 12 team on what he has to do in this opening stage. It's going to be a 3-stop race regardless of what kind of strategy you take today. Whether you pit before the end of the stages, you pit during the stage breaks themselves, or you just simply don't pit at the end of the stage. Wait until the middle of the next stage to pit. And then do that same thing in stage 3. Because the fuel window is less than 30 laps, there's just no chance he'd be able to make it unless we get a few cautions. But that'd be a little risky to bank on a few yellows to try and make it on 2 stops. We haven't seen many cautions on road courses this season. 111.107 that last lap for Blaney. His best of the first 4 that have been completed in the opening set of laps today. A lot of momentum after winning that race at New Hampshire. Ending a terrible skid. And he's looking for more playoff points today as well. He feels these final stretch of races in the regular season are going to be his best stretch of races on the schedule this season. And winning at New Hampshire was a good start to that. Again, not just winning, but winning each of the stages as well. Trying to climb in the regular season standings as much as possible. Playoff points are given to each driver in the top 10 based off of where they finish. It's probably not going to catch Logano unless Logano has a couple DNFs in these final 4 races of the regular season, which isn't impossible with 2 road course races and a super speedway. I wouldn't doubt that Logano would DNF, but if he does not, then there's really no chance Ryan Blaney's going to be able to get to him. 110.056. Blaney was almost a full second faster that lap than the lap before. Look at the sense of speed for Blaney. 184 miles an hour before hard on the brakes to get the car down to about 95 miles an hour in the middle of the bus stop. One of the fastest, if not the fastest area of the racetrack. 3 long straightaways around this road course. Definitely the fastest of any road course on the schedule. How many times have I been to MIS? Trying to think. Oh wow, 109.981 that last lap. Blaney even quicker. A couple thousandths of a second. I was there last year, 2021. Couldn't go 2020 because of COVID. 2019 I was there for both races. 2018 there for both races. 2015. So 6 times. This will be my 7th time in Michigan this year. By far the most I've been to a single racetrack. That's because it's my home track, though. Blaney's just putting some time trial laps down ever since the start of this race. The big thing is going to be trying to figure out what the strategy is going to be for the rest of the field when the time comes. And when exactly they are going to pit. Will they pit during the stage breaks or before them maybe? Try and get track position on Blaney. They have until 2 laps to go to pit. Why do they call it the bus stop? Maybe that's where the shuttle buses pick people up in the infield and take them to, like, the main grandstands. Maybe that's why they call it the bus stop. That's my best educated guess, to be completely honest, Santiago Kid. Every other track, it's called a chicane. I mean, it can still be called a chicane here, but for whatever reason, they call it the bus stop at Watkins, Glen. Michigan's the weekend of your birthday. Me too, technically. My birthday's the middle of the following week. It usually falls on my birthday or around my birthday in August. The very first NASCAR race I went to, I got basically my birthday present ticket like a couple days before. My grandpa gave me back in 2015 when we went. For the August race. Hendrick fans, welcome to the stream. He's driving it in deep into turn 5, letting the car kind of bounce a little bit wide, and then powering back into the throttle as he turns the car in the middle of the corner to get the apex. Really diamonding the corner off, almost Darlington style in turn 5. He is putting together some super fast laps on a consistent basis, and that's why he has just really widened this lead out so much in the early going. We are only on lap 10, but this first stage is rolling by quick with the pace Blaney is putting down, plus no yellows. Keeping the car clean. But he was thinking about trying to get around the 16 car that time. Kaz Kerala. Good move to not do that and wait until turn 5. No need to risk anything here with a gigantic lead if you're Ryan Blaney. Power past Brendan Gunn on the next long straightaway now. It's going to be interesting to see how many cars Blaney can put a lap down before the end of stage 1 as he passes Cody Ware in that final turn 7. 10 laps to go in the opening stage. BJ McLeod, Joey Gase, the next couple cars ahead of him. Should have went for the dive bomb. Likely wouldn't have panned out, especially in this game. This game and NASCAR 6 are the two toughest to keep car control of the games I've played so far on the channel. This one more for physics reasons. Claude finished 9th at stage 1 for you? That's crazy. Well, he's not doing that today. Remember when he was really good in our NASCAR Heat 5 season? He almost made the playoffs on points. I think he missed by like 1 point. Sitting at 12 different winners coming into the race today. So unless we get 4 different winners that are not already drivers with a win in these final 4 regular season races, then we will get some drivers to lock in on points. Those who started out towards the front of the field all had wins, at least in the top 2 rows. Where's the best seats at MIS? I usually just try to sit as high as I can, as close to the start-finish line, ideally, or usually the most expensive or, you know, better seats, easier to see everything. But if you sit, ideally, if you sit probably, I'd say in the mid-20s on up, you can pretty much see everything at Michigan. Most intermediate tracks, if you're sitting at least 20 rows up, you can typically see the whole track. Unless there's like obstacles in the infield. I haven't been to all the intermediate tracks yet, so I can't confirm that, but all of them that I've been to, which is quite a few of them, you can. I think the only intermediate tracks I haven't been to yet are Las Vegas and Kansas. I think everything else I've been to. I'm counting New Hampshire as a short track. It races like a short track. It's flat. It's only 1 mile. But all the other ones I want to say I've been to. A couple road courses I haven't been to yet. Oh, Texas. I haven't been to Texas yet either. Wow, Kurt Busch got really loose into the bus stop. He caught a little bit of the grass with his left side tires, and I saw him start to flail out with the rear of his race car, and I thought for a second he was going to go for a spin. He's back in 29th. He is the last driver above the cutoff line coming into this race today on points, so it is not good to be running where he is running right now. Maybe there's a shot for Ricky Stenhouse Jr. to try and point his way into the playoffs yet, knock out a former Cup champion, Kurt Busch. What an upset that would be. Stenhouse has been good on the road courses this season, but so has Kurt Busch, so it's actually surprising Busch is this far back. A little wide in turn 1 for Blaney. Not as bad as what he was a couple different times in qualifying. Definitely as wide as he has been in this race so far. 7 laps to go in the opening stage now. In our rookie Chase Briscoe. Eric Almirola, Ryan Newman, Corey LaJoie in front of him. And he's just easily getting around these lap cars. Should meet Real Radman. I haven't seen him in person yet. I've met a lot of them. I don't think they know I have a YouTube channel, though. Every time I've met any of them. I actually ran into David Land at Mid-Ohio for the IndyCar race a couple weeks ago. I didn't say anything to him because he was in the middle of recording a video, but I saw him recording his post-race video. It was like basically right around the grandstands I was sitting in turn 4 that day. I don't know if he was there for the race. I'm surprised I didn't see him at all during the race or before the race. He's probably sitting up, maybe, I would imagine he was towards the top. I was towards the top too, so I don't know how I didn't see him until after the race was over, to be completely honest. Saw Eric Estep in the garage at Daytona earlier this year. Talked to Danny B at Nashville last season. Slap shoes. I've seen most of them. I mean, especially considering the YouTube channel last year was lots. I mean, it's small now, but it was a lot smaller last year too, so they have no clue who I am. Kyle Larson running mid-pack right now in 19th at a track he won at in real life on the 2021 season right here at Watkins Glen, so a little bit of a struggle for Larson right now, and he'll go a lap down at the hands of race leader Ryan Blaney at the start-finish line. 5 laps to go in the stage. It's amazing how many cars Blaney has already lapped. It's going to be side-by-side in the S's with the 43 of Eric Jones. Pretty tight area of the racetrack to run side-by-side, but it looked like Jones pretty much let Blaney go. Blaney's just mastering these corners right now. Probably managing his tires really well on top of it, which is insane considering the speed he has had in this race car already. Closes quickly on the back of Daniel Suarez. Trackhouse number 99 car, and he'll get around him there as well. Rod G, see you in the chat. Thanks for tuning in. Stenhouse is in 15th, so he's not in position to get any stage points, but he is still running 14 positions higher than Kurt Busch as of right now. Like I said, if he could point his way in, be massive. By the way, Larson doesn't have a win this season, but he's pretty comfortably above the cutoff line on points. He's actually the highest driver on points without a win this year. He's in the top 5 in the regular season standings. Blaney going wide in turn 1. Oh my goodness, that was a lot wider what I thought he was going to go. Very lucky. Hit the wall square as he did. Didn't blow a tire. He's got a gigantic lead. He doesn't have to push this hard. He's just trying to put as many cars a lap down as possible to the end of this stage. Coming in hot into the bus stop. Oh, jeez. Running all over the back of the 17 of Chris Buescher. I don't think he damaged the front of his car too much. Sneaks inside Bubba Wallace off the exit of the corner. Yeah, hardly any damage. He hit the 17 pretty square at a slower speed. Luckily, he got the car checked up enough to not just completely run through the 17 car. And I think Buescher was able to keep control as we stay green. Late in the stage. We get a caution at this point in the stage. It'll probably end the stage. 3 laps to go. And he's got a shot the lap inside the top 10. Regular season points leader Joey Logano went 12, so he's not looking to get any stage points. That'd be massive if Blaney can win both stages and Logano doesn't get any stage points. He's just over 100 points behind him. There's a little less than 2 full races behind him. That's why I'm saying he's probably going to have to DNF twice if Blaney's going to want a shot at the regular season title. Plus, there's obviously 7 drivers between Logano and Blaney in the standings as well. But considering that Larson's also outside the top 10, Truex is in 10th. He's actually behind Blaney. That's who Blaney got by in the point standings in the last race. 48 of Bowman ahead of Blaney in the regular season standings, but he is also without a win this year. He's in the back half of the top 10 right now. I swear this is on champion difficulty, but between New Hampshire and this race, I have no clue how I'm pulling as far ahead as I am. Has the patch made the AI slower? That's the only other thing I could think of. Because if I keep doing this, I might move it to Expert. Expert was too hard before, so it'd be something I'd have to test on my own. And he able to dive bomb and clear Keselowski with a clean pass into the S's. Blaney to the outside of Tyler Reddick. Oh man, not a lot of room there. Blaney gets by Reddick. Lap and a half to go in stage 1. Byron will probably go a lap down, and that'll be the last car Blaney's likely gonna catch. He shoots the gap into turn 5 to get by Willie B, and looks like there's gonna be 5 cars on the lead lap at the end of stage 1. Full send, turn 1 next time. Use my full inner NASCAR gamer? I think I already am. Laughing so hard when you said Talladega during the big one yesterday. I didn't even know I said that until I was editing that video earlier today. I don't think anybody... I don't remember anybody mentioning it in the chat when it happened. We had a few hundred people watching. So we had over 600 people watching. I never remember anybody in the chat saying anything about it. I think at that time we probably only had a couple hundred watching, but still. I had no clue I did that. I had to leave it in the edited version, in the trimmed down version though, because it was calling literally the biggest wreck of the race, so I couldn't not have it in there. I guess I'll have that gap from time to time. I don't have too many of those, so I'm willing to laugh at myself. I pulled an inner Rick Allen moment, I guess. Yesterday's broadcast. 2 more corners for Ryan Blaney. This is the final lap of stage 1, and he is about to pick up stage win number 14 of the season at the Glen. It'll be a 7-stage win on a road course. Half of them coming on road courses this season for the 12 team. And this Advanced Auto Parts Mustang will win Stage 1. How about that? I'm pumped. This car is fast tonight. Bad fast. 5 cars on the lead lap at the end of Stage 1. That's it. Ryan Blaney wins the stage. Denny Hamlin second. Kyle Busch third. Chase Elliott, who qualified outside front row, finishes 4th. Kevin Harvick in 5th. William Byron 6th. Tyler Reddick 7th. Brad Keselowski 8th. Alex Bowman 9th. And Martin Truex Jr. will round out the top 10 in stage number 1. All those drivers will receive stage points. 1 point per position, beginning with 10 points for the winner, all the way down to 1 point for 10. And Ryan Blaney will hit pit road during the stage break. It'll be interesting to see if everybody else is going to pit or not as well. 4 tires, no adjustments to this 12 car. Don't touch it. Yeah, 25 to 27 laps is the fuel window tonight. $49 playoff points as we run so far this season for Ryan Blaney after getting that stage win. Everybody else stayed out. He's going to be at the back of the pack for the restart. Green flag back in the air, and he is going to be expecting some sort of a checkup into turn 1. He has to go 3 wide up the middle. Sideswiped the 51 of Ware, but that could have been a lot worse than what it was, and Blaney's got some work cut out for him. Get through this field. He is backing way up. He was expecting that checkup into turn 1. Got on the brakes immediately. Didn't run over anybody, luckily. Now they're going to have to pit within the first 5 to 7 laps of the stage. He's going to pick up a few positions. Into the bus stop. These guys are going to take this corner really slow. I can feel it already. Oh, Cody Ware sending it in. Making the pass on BJ McLeod. Ryan Blaney going to do the same. Contact with McLeod. 78 car keeps it on the racetrack. Blaney's obviously got fresher tires than everybody else. I don't know why it restarted me all the way at the back. Like, ideally, there were only 5 cars on the lead lap. I should have restarted in row 3 if everybody stayed out. Shouldn't have restarted all the way behind every lap car. So if I get into a wreck, I blame this game. Licky trying to squeeze Blaney on the front stretch. Blaney gets around him, though. Oh, man, he almost got drilled from behind. Look at how fast the 77 of Justin Haley was climbing in to turn 1. There's no rear view mirror, but I saw him hard on the brakes behind the 12, and Blaney got out of harm's way in an instant. My goodness. The dangers of being at the back of the pack, especially on a road course. Justin Haley. Blaney's going to get around him into the bus stop. Right in line behind Kurt Busch. That's a check up behind the 38 car of Anthony Alfredo. SRE Alt, welcome to the stream. Little contact with Newman. Tiny bits of contact through here. I'm surprised Justin Haley didn't run over the 12 car of Ryan Blaney a few laps ago. Blame it on Chastain. He was around us. Yeah, maybe Chastain will turn me too. He did have a run-in with Blaney at Richmond earlier this year. And Blaney hit him back. Definitely have to watch whenever they decide to pit. Michael McDowell squeezes Blaney into turn 5. Blaney had a good run. I don't think they made contact. Up for the 12 car to keep his momentum. Using the fresh tires to his advantage right now, trying to get through the field. Again, he won stage 1, but was the only car that hit pit road during the stage break itself. Trying to get back to the front of the field.
One left. Clear. One left. All clear.
Leaders are definitely going to be pitting very soon. Suarez looking to block Blaney as Blaney goes all the way down to the inside on the main straightaway. Back up towards the top. I probably expect cars to start pitting this time by. Blaney making contact with Chris Buescher. 17 car. Dive bomb the car ahead, turn 1 everything. I don't know why you want me to pull off so many dive bombs. I mean, if I'm close enough, I will on fresher tires. Alright, made it past Stenhouse, who was in 14th. Logano still outside the top 12. It'll be interesting to see how drivers may shake up after green flag pit stops as well. It's going to be interesting with them pitting, if that is how that strategy is going to really play out, because that means they're going to be able to go quite a ways into stage 3 before they have to pit, but not as long as Blaney. If Blaney pits during the stage break, which he plans on doing. Keselowski protecting the bottom. Blaney going to go to the outside of the deuce. Just going to leave him to go pretty wide off the exit of the corner, but he was expecting that. Knew he had extra grip with the fresher tires. A little bit of a check up there behind Truex in the 19. 52 people watching. My goodness, I just looked down. Thanks for everybody tuning in tonight. I didn't realize we had that many people watching. I try to keep up with the chat as much as possible. I always tell you guys that road courses and short tracks are the hardest for me to do so. Sometimes on the super speedways, especially towards the end of the race when things start to ramp up. Thanks for everybody tuning in. Hit that like button. Only 16 likes so far. That helps these streams out a ton. And obviously subscribe if you are new for more daily NASCAR content on the channel. Be live again tomorrow night. The Indianapolis road course race. Blaney pitted during the stage break, so he's got fresher tires, trying to make that time up on the field right now. Now, if they actually stretch it long enough, they can make this race on 2 stops with them not pitting during the stage break. Blaney's going to take it to the end of the stage, no problem. 22 people watching. It says 53 on my end. It says 53 on my end. ICCST, welcome to the stream as well. There are track limits, but it's more for cutting the corner. For the stock cars, there's no track limits off the exit of the corner because of how heavy and how low of downforce they have. It's just too, like, they'd be going much, much slower to make it through the corners if they couldn't power back down to the throttle as soon as possible. So there are track, you have to have at least 2 tires on the curbing on entry to keep from cutting the corner. Blaney is scored in 5th right now. Tyler Reddick would be the first car a lap down in 6th. There are only 5 cars on the lead lap at the end of the opening stage. Blaney's struggling to get around Reddick for these last couple of corners. Wonder how much of Blaney's tires he's used up trying to get through the field right now. Finally powers around Reddick in the S's. Lamar Jackson loves pizza. Welcome to the stream. Who doesn't love pizza? Unless you're like lactose intolerant. Maybe you can get pizza without cheese, but who eats pizza without cheese? Even if you're not one for like greasy, fatty foods, you can always make a veggie pizza too. There's literally kinds of pizzas for everybody. NBC Nothing But Chase, welcome to the stream. That's a good one. That's a good name. After yesterday's coverage, that's a golden name. Nothing But Chase. If you came up with that on your own, I give you a props for that one. That's a good one. Chase Elliott, Kyle Busch on pit road right now. Denny Hamlin also in the pits. That will give Ryan Blaney the race lead for the second different time today after Blaney qualified on the pole and won stage 1. They're going to be on fresher tires, but they're going to be quite a ways behind Blaney. I think he should be able to get out far enough ahead that he should have no problem winning this stage, I'd have to imagine. Who eats cheese without pizza? You mean who eats pizza without cheese? I mean, I don't eat like a block of cheese when I'm eating pizza, but I eat cheese on my pizza. I feel like there are people out there that don't. If you're lactose intolerant, which I am not, I would have to imagine that you probably choose not to eat pizza if it's got a lot of cheese on it. I feel like that would be the safe thing to do. Unless you want to, spend your night on the toilet or something. And who doesn't like waking up in the middle of the night to have to go to the bathroom? I mean, that's like the greatest thing in the world. Forget what I was saying a couple seconds ago about being lactose intolerant. Yeah, our crew chief keeps calling us into the pits. We obviously pitted during the stage break, so Ryan Blaney is definitely going to be good on the fuel strategy to the end of this stage. He's mixturing out lap traffic right now with these cars coming out of the pits. He's going to have about 7+ lap older tires. He's getting around the back marker car. Stenhouse has lost a lot of spots. He's outside the top 30 right now. He didn't get stage points at stage 1, and remember, he came in about 13 points behind Kurt Busch for that final spot in the regular season standings for the playoffs. Gladly take 100% credit for the name. Oh, Alex Bowman's lost a lot of spots on pit road as well. He's back to 28th. He was inside the top 10. Actually had stage points at the end of stage 1. Finishing the back half of the top 10. He's squeezing Blaney. He's trying to side draft him as the 12 gets around him off of turn 7. 11 laps to go in stage 2 for the 12. We had a lot of new subscribers on the channel yesterday too, so for those of you wondering, there will be a trivia question at the halfway mark in tonight's race. Always have a question at the halfway mark during the live race commentaries, whether they are real races on the race weekend or these video game races during the week. It's usually a track fact of the racetrack we are racing at, so it'll be a Watkins Glen track fact for tonight. The halfway mark will be at lap 45 of 90. The shorter races of the Cup Series season right here at Watkins Glen. At least of these mid-pack on back drivers, it doesn't really look as if they have fresher tires than Ryan Blaney right now. Even though it's only a few laps. Probably making a difference for those drivers at the front of the field. Hamlin was competitive those first few laps, and then Blaney just started clicking together nearly perfect lap times almost all the way through stage 1, and he was able to gap him quite substantially. I go to college? I did not. I almost went to Bowling Green State University, and I ended up not going at the last second. Went there through like orientation and everything, just didn't follow through on it. Talked myself out of it. High school was not great for me mentally, and honestly, I just didn't want to have to deal with similar stuff that I had happen with me in high school and college. I did not want to do 4 more years of that. I was pretty much spent. And at the time, the job I was working full-time, wasn't the greatest one. Where I'm at now, if I was working where I was at now, it probably would have been a no-brainer, but that's because I'm able to, do YouTube now and everything. Because I obviously didn't have this YouTube channel at that time. I didn't have this until about 2 years ago, so this wasn't even in the option at that point. But this was something that came along because I still wanted to get into sports broadcasting, specifically for NASCAR, obviously. Hence the NASCAR YouTube channel.
We got about 5 laps of fuel left. All clear.
So I decided, you know what? I want to keep that dream alive. I'm not giving up on it. And this will be my avenue to go through it. It's always definitely something where if I absolutely need to, absolutely need to have a degree, which I don't believe I need to, if I have the skill set available to do it, and I have my name out there, and if I can physically prove that I can do it, I feel like there's a way around it without having to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to college and get a degree.
Clear, clear.
Blaney's crew chief is inaccurate. Yeah, I don't know where he's getting this telemetry from. Considering the game doesn't have telemetry in the first place, it's probably what's throwing Todd Gordon off. Whereas that was Blaney's crew chief last season. All these cars Blaney's been lapping right now, he is putting them a second lap down. Kurt Busch is all the way up to 14th. He cycled tremendously through pit stops. And him and Stenhouse have basically flip-flopped. Because now Busch is in 14th and Stenhouse is outside the top 30. And because Stenhouse didn't get any stage points in stage 1, just like Kurt Busch, they didn't really lose or gain any points on each other initially.
Clear, clear, clear.
Kevin Harvick lost some track time on pit road. He's only a few cars ahead of Blaney despite being in the 5th place position. And just in front of Bubba Wallace, who's in the 12th place position right now. Chris Buescher's all over the place right now. He started on the bottom of the corner. Blaney couldn't go there. He's going to end up, hard hit into the wall. Blaney into the gas too soon. And I believe he's got a tire down. That was a heavy hit. Heavy hit into the tire barriers off the exit of turn 5. My goodness, that was like, oh man, who was that? Jeff Gordon that did that? Back in 2010, Jeff Burton. Heavy damage to the 12 car while leading this race. He's going to have to hit pit road for an unscheduled stop in the middle of the stage. As he gets down to pit road speed, it's going to be a 4-tire stop for Ryan Blaney. He just got back into the throttle too soon off turn 5. I don't even know how that happened. I mean, he had a perfect race going through the first 33 laps. Dominated. He led every lap in stage 1. He just took the lead because Field just pitted about 4 laps ago. And he's going to need a fast stop for his pit crew if he's going to want a shot to still win stage 2. That was nasty. That would knock most drivers out of the race. I'm surprised Blaney's still in it, but he's got heavy damage on the nose of his race car. It was 2009, Jeff Gordon, Jeff Burton. Yeah, that looked like it. I kind of didn't want to repair any damage. It doesn't really do anything in this game. It's just going to make the pit stop even slower for Blaney. He had a big lead, but I would have to imagine he is going to likely drop at least back to 4th. Looks like he is in 5th right now. Good news is he should stay on the lead lap because everybody else pitted during the stage. But that was a heavy impact for Ryan Blaney. And that might be the equalizer with the damage that could get other cars back into this race. Obviously, there's a lot of cars trapped to lap down, which is a good thing he lapped so many cars in stage 1. Gordon and Hornish. Oh, yeah, that was a pretty wild one, too. That was the same wreck, I think. I think Burton might have clobbered Gordon when Gordon came back across the track. Yeah, I think that was all the same accident. He cycled out right about with the cars he was running with prior to that hit into the wall in turn 5. Gene Huddleston, welcome to the stream, by the way. I haven't shouted you out since I saw you in the chat. 6 laps to go in stage 2. This 12 car still looking quick. I guess he has a little bit fresher tires now.
Clear, clear, clear.
It can't be as quick as what it was. I'd be shocked if it is.
One left.
Side by side in the S's with Busher. Passes made. You wouldn't think that Blaney's going to have a shot to win this stage still. There's no way. Yeah, well, the only thing that was different about that wreck and the wreck back in 2009 at the Glen is nobody hit us when we came back across the track. It actually really didn't come back across the track. He stayed on that access pavement off the outside of the corner. So as long as they weren't getting back into the gas too soon like Blaney did, they were going to be able to miss him. I think that's why the 12 car's still in the race, but even with that hit, he was almost full throttle. Like, I got out of the gas right when I realized I was about to hit it, but it was obviously too late. I think Blaney could catch Harvick for 4th, and that'd probably be about it. So this playoff point is definitely going to be up for grabs, and originally it wasn't looking like it was going to be. And now the strategy's all sorts of messed up for Ryan Blaney. Do you put yourself back in traffic at the tail end of the field if you pit during the stage break still, or do you stay out to keep the track position? But you're probably going to have to pit twice in the final stage if you do that, so it's kind of a lose-lose scenario now. So he's going to have about 6 laps less of fuel in his car compared to everybody else. Well, I guess 6 laps more, but he's still going to have to pit twice. So maybe everybody else is going to have to pit twice if they don't pit during the stage break. It's going to be an interesting strategy, to say the least. Bryce, welcome to the stream. Remember you from last night? There's Harvick. 4 to go this time by. Blaney sends it deep into turn 7. Hits his marks. Clears Harvick off the exit of the corner for 4th. Bell and Keselowski battling for that final spot for a stage point up ahead. No free pass given to the car first lap down in this game. Oh, Kyle Larson up to 9th. He was 19th at the end of stage 1. Must have qualified poorly and is just kind of starting to make his way through the field. Looking to get at least a couple stage points today. Well, we're going to have a race now, because I can definitely tell this 12 car is not quite as fast as it was. About a second or so off his fastest pace. Which is quite a bit. Hey Torres, welcome to the stream. Penalties for following too close? I don't know what you mean by that. Like tailgating somebody? I don't think there's any form of racing that's penalizes you for being too close behind another car if you're not making contact with them. Any power sliding off of turn 1. Right in line behind the Stanley Toyota of Christopher Bell. Gonna get around him. Joey Logano's cracked the top 10 for the first time today. He's up to 8th place. So he's also looking to get some stage points in this stage. Blaney will still outpoint him in both stages, but not as much in stage 2, considering Logano didn't get any stage points in stage 1 and Blaney won the stage. Two to go this time by stage 2, and then we'll have what could potentially be the final restart of the day when we start stage 3. We haven't had a caution for incidents so far tonight. Chase Elliott's in 3rd. Few cars up ahead of where Blaney's at right now. I don't see Blaney getting up to him. I could be wrong. I mean, if Elliott makes a mistake, could be an opportunity. Blaney might be the one to make a mistake. He's like he didn't blow a tire there. Side swiping the guardrail. Got in the tire barriers once, which caused all this damage, but that was the first time he legitimately hit a wall today. A lot of it is just because of how much tighter the race car has gotten with the damage to the front of the car itself. Doesn't matter whether it's a left-hand turn or a right-hand turn. This car is struggling to turn in the middle of the corners, despite the fact that it's a little bit slower as well. Chase Elliott does have quite a bit of lap traffic in front of him. There is a chance Blaney could get him on this final lap this time by. Not close enough to draft off Larson down this long main straightaway. One of the longest straightaways in NASCAR. Reddick is up ahead. I think he may be... No, he's a lap down. I think he's in 7th. Elliott thought about trying to pull alongside Reddick that time. Wasn't quite close enough to be able to do so. Reddick is definitely holding Elliott up. Blaney pushing hard. Kept it off the guardrail that time. He's got a lot of speed. So get to the inside of Kyle Larson. Should be able to outbrake him into the bus stop. He'll have the advantage on the inside. Closes in behind Logano. Elliott, Reddick up ahead. Reddick still holding up Elliott. Logano gonna get out of the way of his teammate on the bottom. Blaney runs into the side of Elliott, trying to use Tyler Reddick as a pick, and Blaney up another spot. Gonna steal another stage point here by the end of the stage. Help his regular season standings just a little bit. Oh, gets chopped off by the 62. He did force it in a little late, but he had the positioning. Stage is over for whoever just won this stage. Ryan Blaney is going to end up coming around turn 7 to finish 3rd in stage 2. He will not sweep the stages tonight with the damage to the front of his Ford Mustang. So Kyle Busch will go on to win stage 2. Denny Hamlin 2nd. Ryan Blaney 3rd. Chase Elliott 4th. Kevin Harvick will be 5th. 6th place was Martin Truex Jr. Tyler Reddick 7th. Joey Logano 8th. 9th was Kyle Larson. Brad Keselowski rounds out the top 10 in the second stage tonight. It is going to be a very, very interesting final stage. It's going to be a 2-stop final stage if Blaney doesn't pit here. But I think he has to keep the track position with the damage to his race car. So he'll stay out. Everybody else is going to stay out too. Denny Hamlin going to lead the field to the... Well, I guess Kyle Busch on the inside will lead the field to the green. Hamlin, his teammate on the outside. Final stage underway. The field bunched together. Will this be the final restart? Contact and a battle for 3rd between Blaney and Elliott. Blaney's going to blow a tire one of these times. Still side by side in the S's for the lead between Hamlin and Busch. And Busch is going to be clear off the exit of the S's. Blaney can't clear Elliott yet. Sends it into the bus stop. The back bumper of Denny Hamlin in the 11. Into turn 5. Sweeps underneath him. Blaney still does have about 6 lap fresher tires than these guys right now. Gasses it up on Kyle Busch. Turn 5. Getting back onto the straightaway now into 6, side by side. Blaney down low, Busch on the outside. Blaney clear off the exit of the corner. "50 laps in the final stage today, not 45, like I originally said at the start of the day. I did not do my math correctly earlier. 4 laps away from the trivia question tonight as well. Ryan Blaney back out in front, despite an issue he had there in stage 2, which costed him a playoff point because he did not win the stage. He finished 3rd in it. He's trying to get away right now. He's still got speed in this race car. Alternate through the different camera angles for the first time today when we get back to the start-finish line this time by as well. Which is going to be eventful with the damage to the front of the race car. know it's going to be a lengthy stop for Blaney when he does end up repairing damage under each of the 2 stops as well. So he's going to want to get ahead as far as possible, knowing that that's going to cost him some time in the pits on each of the final 2 stops of the day. So making that unscheduled stop, it's turned from a 3-stop race for Ryan Blaney to a 4-stop race. But because of the stage breaks, he could probably get away with pitting that extra time in the first 2 stages. That's why he leads right now. It's a little bit different 2-stop strategy compared to the rest of the field. It's going to be interesting to see how Blaney splits this up as well. I think that's Denny Hamlin up to 2nd place now. He must have gotten around cut. Nope, guy was still there. Never mind. I think Denny will wreck Ross Chastain. So personally, I think Denny Hamlin's all talk, to be completely honest. I don't remember Denny Hamlin intentionally ever wrecking anybody. He's always kind of said the same thing with Logano when he feuds with him, and I don't ever remember Denny Hamlin ever paying Logano the favor back. I honestly don't think he's going to purposely get into Ross Chastain. I think the closest thing we came to it was Gateway when he parked his car in front of him. He never tried to turn him at all. He was just running him super aggressively, but in a clean way. I feel like that is the closest that we'll ever come to Denny Hamlin dumping Ross Chastain. And he may do that at another track again this year. Like maybe if they get into it at New Hampshire or something, or he's having a bad day, he might do it then. But I don't think he's... It'd have to be a shorter or a flatter racetrack, kind of like Gateway was, for him to even do that in the first place. I personally don't think he's going to get Chastain back. I don't think he's going to attempt to. I mean, part of the reason why Denny Hamlin has probably never won a NASCAR Cup Series championship is because he's not aggressive enough. So I doubt he's going to... Oh my gosh, I can't see. Hey, let's try a challenge here. We're still going to alternate through the different camera angles. Blaney trying to use the curbing to his advantage here to steer the race car. I'm braking extra early. I do not want to blow the bus stop. That thing's not like the EA. I think I blew it. I didn't even see it. That's going to have to be a stop and go penalty for Blaney. He hasn't stopped yet. Oh, jeez. Here come the leaders. I wanted to challenge myself. Into turn 6, Kyle Busch battling back. I think I'm in the grass. And Busch is going to take the lead on the main straightaway. He got off turn 7 much better than Ryan Blaney did. Blaney's still going to have to make a stop and go. He's got a few laps to do it. We're getting black flagged. Denny Hamlin closing in. Hamlin looking low. Follow the 11 car into the bus stop at least. Blaney didn't miss it that time. You missed turn 5 though. Good lord. Got back on the track alongside Chase Elliott. Did a good job keeping it off the 9 car. And he's still in front of him as he actually beat him back to the gas off the exit of turn 5 as well.
Car right.
Elliott looks to the outside in 6. That didn't work for him. There, I made 2 laps blind around Watkins Glen. Enough of that for now. What, NASCAR gives you 3 laps to serve a stop and go penalty or penalty of any sort? Yeah, time for tonight's trivia question. I'll do that while I'm thinking about when I'm going to serve that penalty. I got a couple laps yet to do it. So tonight's trivia question on the channel and Watkins Glen track fact is, who is the only driver in NASCAR Cup Series history to qualify outside the top 15 and win a Cup race at Watkins Glen? That is tonight's trivia question. Again, who is the only driver in NASCAR history to win a Cup Series race at Watkins Glen qualifying outside the top 15? Goes to show that track position matters at the Glen. Drivers you see towards the front of the field tonight are all drivers who qualified towards the front of the field as well. I make a promise to alternate through the different camera angles. It is not Chase Elliott. He started towards the back, but he qualified inside the top 10 at Watkins Glen. I think he actually qualified on the pole when he won there in 2019, despite starting at the rear. He didn't qualify there. And we see nothing but Chase actually got it right. Steve Park. Steve Park is the answer to tonight's trivia question. Back in 2001, he won the Cup Series race at Watkins Glen, and he ended up qualifying in the 18th place position. Started further back than any other driver to win a Watkins Glen race, based off qualifying at least. Lenny just made a pass on Denny Hamlin for position. Lenny's going to have to serve his penalty next lap for missing the bus stop, so even if he gets to the lead this time by, be interesting to see where exactly he serves that penalty at. Drives it hard into turn 6 as he closes in on Busch into 7. Hard into this corner as well, looking to the inside of the 18 car. Busch going to beat him back to the throttle. Trying to figure out where the best spot on the racetrack would be to serve the penalty if you're Blaney. I think it's going to be in the bus stop, but he's going to have to do it in the middle of it, off to that excess pavement on the outside. And into the bus stop. Blaney to the inside. That's only because he's going to be serving the penalty this time. He'll come to a complete stop. Now he'll gas it up and get going again. He's going to lose a couple positions with this, trying to stay out of the way on the curbing. He's got nobody behind him, so he's going to serve his way back up into traffic. No major issues here for Ryan Blaney. So there's the stop-and-go penalty for missing the bus stop a couple laps ago. It didn't penalize me for it, but I wasn't going to not penalize myself for it. I'll be fair. It's easier to drive from this camera angle, even with the damage, if there's cars ahead. Like Chase Elliott is ahead of Ryan Blaney right now. Gives you some sort of vantage point for where exactly you're at. It's a little harder into the bus stop going uphill. I can't believe I got through there as well as I did. Oh wow, I hit turn 5. I guessed on the braking there. This is actually kind of fun. It's sketchy. Major code brown some of the time. If there were more cars around me, that would be the real Code Brown, the real test of trying to do this with the damage. Okay, we're staying out of trouble though. We're in 4th. One more lap with it. That's all I got to deal for now. What was the question and the answer? Who was the only driver to qualify outside the top 15 and win a cup race at Watkins Glen? The answer was Steve Park, 2001. We are still caution-free tonight at Watkins Glen, by the way. It is a pretty straightforward race. Blaney's obviously got damage. He got back into the gas in turn 5 back in the middle of stage 2 on lap 33 too quickly and ended up in the tire barriers off the exit of the corner. I don't know how I'm getting through the bus. The bus stop is the hardest corner with this damage to try and drive. You're really guessing trying to get through there, and I'm wide in turn 5. Good thing there's a lot of excess pavement out there, though. When he gets back onto the track, I don't think that was too slow of a corner. Pretty easy question. Well, maybe for you. Steve Park was pretty good on the road courses back at that time. I'd wreck every time with this view. That's just me knowing the racetrack, though. Like, if that was Coda, I would not have been able to make it through, just because it's a newer road course in NASCAR. This race has been boring with no cautions. It's competitive, though. Still 2 more pit stops yet to get through. Time for Blaney to do a little bit of catching up, though. A little less than 40 laps left. I will say the top of the running order is probably more spaced out now than any other time in this race so far tonight. Got a couple cars on pit road right now, which makes sense as we're just past lap 50. I didn't mean to go back to this camera angle again. Oh, well, I'll ride with this one for a little bit. Laney's only got a few extra laps of fuel in it than everybody else. Laney pitted at lap 33. Again, 25 to 27 laps is the window. He's going to have a pretty fast stop. Some of the other leaders are on their way in. I would imagine that time by. This will give Ryan Blaney the lead for the 3rd. Make that 4th different time tonight. 4th different time Ryan Blaney has led today at Watkins Glen. Trying to get his first career win at the racetrack. Oh, watch out for Eric Jones coming out of the pits on the bottom. Luckily, he was still getting up to speed. It gave Blaney enough time to be able to clear and still hit his marks on the inside as normal. Didn't see him until the last second. Kind of a blind corner with those cars coming out of the pit lane. And knowing that there's a lot of lap traffic that Blaney's closing in on up ahead, I think the best time for him to pit is going to be this time by. It's going to be in a little bit of dirty air in turn 5, but nothing major here. Gets to the inside of the 42 of Chastain. He'll clear him easily. So Ryan Blaney going to pit this time.
Clear, clear.
40 miles per hour is the pit road speed limit. He doesn't want to lose too many, or I should say he doesn't want to lose too many times, or I don't know why I said that. He doesn't want to lose too much time by pitting too far after everybody else, so he only pits 2 laps after Kevin Harvick, and Harvick pitted 1 lap before everybody else to cycle into second. Obviously now he's going to have the lead. As Blaney gets into his pit box, and because he qualified on the pole, he'll have the number 1 box at the end of pit road. Repeat the question, I think there's a flaw. He's the only driver to qualify outside the top 15 and win at Watkins Glen in the Cup Series. Steve Park qualified 18th. Not start outside the top 15, qualify outside the top 15. Yeah, put the saw to the right front. That'll fix the hole in the grill. I'm sure of it. I don't think repairing the damage really does much in this game, but gotta do something. That was the first scheduled green flag stop, I guess, for Blaney today. Back out there at Fort Fresh Goodyears, though. Jeff Gordon won. Oh, sorry, 2000. That might have been the flaw in the question. My bad on that one. 2000 Steve Park won at Watkins Glen. I didn't ask you guys to name the year, though. So that's alright. Maybe that was the flaw. The answer was the flaw. Sorry if I said 2001. Which I think I did. Now that you mentioned that. Stop took forever. Yeah, the pit crew. I think the pit crew is slower for yourself than the AI in this game. Repairing the damage probably didn't help either. So second to last stop of the race. Blaney in the 5th place position right now, trying to make some of this time right back up again. Got a lot of lap cars he's currently trying to pass to get up to the front runners. Kyle Larson's up to 8th, Logano in 7th. They each gained a spot on Reddick, who fell from 6th back to 9th. It looked like it was going to be Blaney's race to lose at the very beginning, and if that wreck at turn 5 is going to cost him just enough to win this race, then he ended up losing the race that was only his to lose. He obviously lost stage 2. He had a very easy shot to sweep the stage and get a max points day for the 4th different time this season for the 2nd consecutive race for the first time this year, but that's already obviously not going to happen. Like I said, the good thing is he's guaranteed a top 5 to just stay on the lead lap, considering how many cars went a lap down way back in stage 1. Blaney way down on the bottom of the track. Trying to give himself a little bit of room. Oh, Logano and Larson may have made contact going into the corners. Larson made a pass on the 22 car after the 12 of Blaney did. And I wonder when Blaney went down to the bottom of the track if Larson was drafting behind him. And that allowed the 5 car to get by the 22. Oscar Ramirez Herrera, welcome to the stream. Still just over 30 laps to go. Harvick is actually back at 4th still. I thought he was going to gain some positions out of it, but I guess he didn't. Blaney just in front, or behind Harvick rather. Goes to the outside of Martin Truex Jr., but that was so he can get the inside in turn 7, which he's able to make the pass in that corner on the 19 car. Joe Gibbs Racing having a good day today. I think all 4 of them are in the top 10. Bell's still in 10th place. Truex in 6th, and then Hamlin and Kyle Busch were 1-2 last we saw. Logano in park? I'll look it back up when I get a second. Currently have a battle for fourth going on between Harvick and Blaney. The bus stop, that got tight. Blaney lifted just a little extra, but now will drive it in deep into turn 5. Gets into the 4 car of Kevin Harvick. Going to use him up a little bit and complete the pass. Wasn't a clean one, but it was a pass nonetheless, and that moves Blaney up to 4th. Lost time on pit road. We know he's going to lose time on pit road one more time today, knowing that there is still one more stop to the finish. Going to have to just run as fast of laps really as he can the rest of this race without making a major mistake like he did back at stage 2. That's really the only major mistake he's made today, though. That's all it takes. Especially on a road course. Track position's so vital. That's the 3rd time Blaney's gotten into the wall in that guardrail. All 3 times have been with that right side of the race car. Surprised he hasn't blown a tire. Goes in quickly still in the bus stop on McLeod. Blaney can get through the lap traffic better than the rest of the leaders as well. That's obviously going to help him too. I'll pause it real quick right now just to double check that trivia question. Let's see. Logano won 2015. Yeah, you're right. He did qualify 16th. My bad. Alright, well, I guess the question was flawed. That's the 2nd time in the last, what, couple days that I've had the trivia question flawed? Alright, Logano was another answer. If you answered Logano, you were also right. I don't know if anybody did. Logano 2015. And Steve Park in 2000. I'll get my act together with the trivia question one of these nights. So I win trivia. Were you here, though, to answer the question when it first happened? I don't know if you answered Logano when I originally asked the question or not. I guess out of technicality you would have if you did. Means the question was a little flawed. Thanks for fact-checking it, though. Fact-checking it and being right. I hate when I get fact-checked and I was right the whole time. That does happen quite a bit. I'm wrong from time to time, though. I'm willing to admit. Joshua Rumsey answered Logano. Oh, there you go. He gets part of it then. Denny Hamlin's back to 3rd place now, and I wonder if the 9 of Chase Elliott... Yeah, Elliott's leading because Kyle Busch is in 2nd currently, so Blaney's starting to run down the top 3 in front of him slowly but surely. 30 laps to go yet at Watkins Glen tonight.
Got 1 left. All clear.
Definitely trying to put together as fast of laps as possible if he's going to want a shot to win. So have to alternate through the couple camera angles one more time yet. The damaged ones at least. For a total of 4 more laps. That can probably slow the pace down a little bit from the 12. But I do think if he can just put together clean laps, not make a major mistake, he'll be alright. He's got the car to be able to get it done. A little bit of a wheel hop off the curb that time. The entrance into the bus stop sent him a bit wide, but he kept it on the racetrack and still relatively had a fast time through there this lap. My sister's got Logano merch, but that's because she's a Logano fan. I have a friend of mine that I got into NASCAR a while back, too. We took him to a race back in 2018. He was a Logano fan that day. Hamlin pulling out of line to make a pass on Cody Ware. Blaney trying to get as much draft behind Ware as possible before pulling out of line and making the pass on him now. Down into turn 1, Hamlin. You can see the front of his race car wiggling as he locked the brakes up that time, seeing the 12 car in his rearview mirror closing in. Blaney is right there and looking for a way around Denny Hamlin. Gonna have to pull back in line and draft. How hard is he gonna drive it? Into the bus stop. He's gonna try to shoot the gap. Oh, dangerous area to go side by side. They made it without any contact. I don't know how they did, but they did. And Hamlin holds on to the positioning as he continues to hold Blaney up just a tad. Blaney on the inside of Hamlin off the exit of turn 5. Door to door. Blaney trying to side draft him, and Hamlin runs into him. Blaney with the dive bomb into turn 7. Powers back to the throttle and clears Denny Hamlin this time. Hamlin's going to be able to pick up a little bit of the draft. We'll see if he sends it into turn 1. Blaney hard on the brakes, trying to make sure he gets away from the 11 car. He didn't want to give him any shot to get to the inside, potentially cross him over. That scared me. Oh, jeez. That's the second time that's happened to me. Like I said, remember the days of NASCAR Heat when I just would slam the wall and DNF? When that would happen? At least I didn't miss the corner when I unpaused it. That was a difficult area to try and navigate back onto the track with all four. Well, I guess I never went off the track, but you get the point. NASCAR Pepsi Cup Series Racing, welcome to the stream. Just over 30 likes, looks like 32 likes on the channel so far tonight for this live stream. Hit that like button if you haven't already. We've had upwards of 60 people watching at one point in time for this NASCAR 21 Ignition Watkins Glen live stream. Battle for second currently between Kyle Busch and Ryan Blaney at Watkins Glen. Chase Elliott is leading the race after Blaney won stage 1 and Kyle Busch won stage 2. It was both Busch and Blaney who dominated New Hampshire after Blaney won both stages in the race, but Kyle Busch finished second in both stages in the race. Had himself a good day. Stayed out of trouble. Blaney going to pull alongside of Busch into the S's. What a pass! That was very, very narrow area of the track. That and the bus stop, the two hardest places to make a pass in the middle of the corner, but Blaney did just that on Kyle Busch. Didn't want to waste any time as he tries to run down Elliott for the lead. 27 laps to go currently. The window is open to make it to the end of the race on fuel for those who want to pit now. Thomas Anthony Lopez, welcome to the stream. I think Elliott's being held up right now by a couple of slower lap cars, and Blaney's really closing the gap. Should have downshifted to first gear that time. Might have been a little bit of a hiccup in the middle of the corner that time for the 12. 26 to go. Quite a few laps on a road course, but laps at this road course maybe don't take as long compared to any other road course, at least on the Cup Series schedule. And he's probably going to try to gas it up to get by Custer in the same spot he got around Kyle Busch. It's going to be narrow again. That is just a risky area to be passing people. That's 2 laps in a row. Blaney's been able to do it. He just does not want to wait that extra corner or two to make the pass on entry into the bus stop. Closes in on Justin Haley in the 77 car. Right in line behind him and look to make the pass to the inside in turn 5. Haley runs him a bit tight. Now backs out of the gas and lets the 12 car go. Blaney up the track just a little bit. And Chase Elliott is the next car in front of the 12. We have to alternate through the different camera angles one more time. Might as well do that now. At least on the in-car cam a couple more times. Wanted to do that when I was close behind another car, and Chase Elliott is right in front of us, so might as well do it now. Blaney trying to get through the S's really well currently. I'd say he did. Pretty even with Elliott. Elliott's held up behind a lap car right now. Can't tell who it is. I think it's Ryan Newman in the 6. Should have known. Elliott trying to pull around the outside to make a pass on Newman before entering turn 6. He'll get around him. Blaney charges to the inside in turn 7. Gets into the 6 of Newman just a little bit. That's going to cost him time. Oh, he's still into him.
All clear. One left. All right, hold your line.
Newman powers it to the outside of Blaney into turn 1. And Ryan Newman is starting to hold Ryan Blaney up just a little bit. He's got to get around him in the S's. Probably not a good spot to do that with the damage to the race car.
Clear, clear.
Blaney holds on, and Newman's still in front of him, though. Backed out of the gas. He second-guessed that move on the inside of Newman. I think Blaney's showing his displeasure right now with the 6. It's like, let me through.
Still there.
Chase Elliott getting held up by another car up ahead as well.
Clear all around.
I think Newman's still on the outside of Ryan Blaney. Turn 7, Blaney clears him. And finally, Ryan Blaney with pulling clear. Could hopefully try to catch up to Chase Elliott, but it's going to... Oh, man, well, never mind. Newman just powered it into turn 1 back to the inside of the 12th car again.
All clear.
He is relentless right now in trying to get around Ryan Blaney. He's already... I think he's 2 laps down, but he's at least 1 down. Well, I guess he'd be 2 down if Elliott's ahead of him, so he's at least 2 laps down, maybe 3 laps down, and Ryan Newman is holding up Ryan Blaney in the 12. Hard into the bus stop that time. A little risky with the damage on the front of the race car, but he is trying to find a way around the 6.
Got one right.
To the outside.
Clear, clear.
And turn 5 off the exit of the corner. Same spot he ended up wrecking earlier. He's clear. Bit wide. Wasn't terrible. The Ryan and Ryan show, yeah. Alright, one more lap of this camera angle, and that's going to be it for the rest of the race with it. That'll be 8 whole laps around Watkins Glen with this kind of damage throughout the course of today's race. All in the final stage. He's definitely starting to pull away from Newman. It'd be nice if the spotter was trying to guide me around the racetrack right now, but oh, I almost ended up in the guardrail. I felt the curbs. I was like, I think I'm getting close. Oh, geez. I feel the curbs there. Elliott's primarily led for most of this final stage. 21 laps to go at the start-finish line. All right, enough fooling around. Let's run down Elliott. If it wasn't for Newman, I don't think I would have lost time even through those camera angles. Newman was just holding up Blaney so much for about 3 full laps. Elliott got held up a little bit by Josh Balicki, who's the next car ahead of Blaney. And Elliott was able to pull a few seconds ahead of him. Over the span of those 3 laps, he was stuck behind Newman.
1 left. Be all around.
20 laps to go this time by. Saw how quickly those first 2 stages went by individually. That's about the length of the race we have left. The only difference is there's still 1 more pit stop to get to the end of the race on fuel for every driver in the field. Blaney pitted at lap 54. Bit of a power slide into turn 7. He is pushing extremely hard. He knows he could change these tires before the end of the race, so he's not worried about burning the tires off the car right now. Couple lap cars between the top 2. Anthony Alfredo and James Davidson will be the 2 cars. Between Elliott and Blaney. Blaney getting around Alfredo through the S's. Not going to be any adjustments in the final pit stop of the day for Blaney. Blaney trying to come back from wrecking and trying to win this race. He still finished 3rd in stage 2. Does he have the speed versus Elliott when Elliott's not getting held up in lap traffic? Blaney's obviously been held up probably just as much as Elliott. Blaney gets around Davison on the outside of turn 5. Blaney's still stuck behind Joey Gase, one of the Rick Ware cars. Gase blocking him. He's going to take away the inside line of Elliott into turn 6. Elliott goes to the outside. Blaney goes to the outside to follow Elliott a couple car lengths back of him. And this is the battle for the lead at Watkins Glen. No lap cars, at least in the near vicinity around these 2. We've got a battle with 19 laps to go. Blaney a little bit wider than Elliott. Lost a bit of time in turn 1. Blaney's going to win. He's going to have to beat the best road course racer in NASCAR. Same place Elliott got his first career win in 2018 and another win in 2019 at this racetrack. Oh, he got into the back of Chase that time. Blaney underneath him off of turn 5. Side by side as they head into 6. It'll be Elliott down low, Blaney up high. Off the exit of the corner, still side by side into 7. Now Blaney's down low, Elliott on the outside lane. And Ryan Blaney will take the lead off turn 7. 18 laps to go. 5th different time Blaney has led today. He's going to charge it hard into turn 1, trying to keep the 9 behind him. Remember, Blaney had that pass through, or stop and go penalty, I should say, after passing through the bus stop earlier on in this final stage as well. Finally able to get back with that. He knows he's going to have a longer pit stop, so he's trying to gap Elliott as much as he can before that stop happens. That was not a good set of corners through the bus stop that time. Caught up in a little dirty air as he got closer to the back behind of Matt DiBenedetto in the 21 car. RKM, welcome to the stream. Dawsonville pool room in shambles. Blaney passes Elliott. They're befuddled right now. Like, how? This is a road course. How can anybody beat him? Well, Tyler Reddick proved that and how to do it. He Road America a couple weeks ago. Put enough pressure on him, he may make a mistake. Couple cars making contact down into turn 1. Eric Almirola and Brendan gone. This is a big line of lap cars right in front of the 12 of Blaney. He's going to get to the outside of Bowman. Chase Elliott's teammate will get around him. Another one of Elliott's teammates, William Byron, is just up ahead as well. Both those cars running 20th or worse right now. Way off the pace that the 9 is running. Even the 5 of Larson's in the top 10. He was back around these guys early in the race, but not so much anymore. Blaney's getting through the lap traffic. I'd imagine Bowman and Byron are going to let Elliott go when he gets to them. 16 laps remain this time by. I don't think I've ever eaten at Hooters before. Is that un-American? Is that an unpatriotic thing to do? Matty D holding up Chase Elliott. Hey, Ryan Newman held us up for 3 laps. Blaney did not have a chance to get around Priest that time in the S's. He had to sit behind him an extra couple corners here, and now he'll dive to the bottom, and he'll be able to clear him before getting into the bus stop up ahead. Not sure if Chase Elliott is pit or not yet. Blaney's only going to be able to go about 2 to 3 more laps on fuel. So he is going to have to pit very soon. And I'm not sure if Elliott pit already or not. Long line of lap traffic coming up in front of Blaney. I think Blaney's just going to pit now so he doesn't have to deal with it on this next lap. Smart plan by the 12 team. On to pit road he goes. 40 miles an hour is the pit road speed limit, and he is there. 4 tires and fuel for Ryan Blaney. This is the money stop. Final one of the day. With 16 laps to go, coming to 15 to go up the hill back to the start-finish line. Chase Elliott is still out on the track. He has not pitted yet, so Blaney from the lead will pit before the 9 of Elliott. I would not have been able to make it to lap 80. I probably would have gotten about lap 77, 78, and that would have been it. So Blaney going to try to short pit. He knows he's going to have a lengthier stop, so he's going to try to make some of that time up on a little bit fresher tire. Well, quite a bit fresher tires, really. 20-plus lap fresher tires. And then we'll see where Elliott cycles out of the pits, probably in a few laps himself. Plus, if we do get that first caution for incident today, the only 2 cautions have been the stage breaks so far that Ryan Blaney can at least cycle back to the lead and just try to hold him off on older tires. So that will be the strategy right now. We'll be back in the 5th place position. Again, last car on the lead lap. So he works his way off of pit road down on the bottom of the racetrack. And he'll get up to speed uphill through the S's right now behind his teammate Brad Keselowski. Little mistake there on cool tires. Yeah, Christopher Bell is still in the top 10. He's in 9th currently. And he sends it into the bus stop to get around Keselowski, who is in 8th. Time to put together 15 time trial laps for the 12 of Blaney to try and outduel the 9 of Chase Elliott. When exactly will the leaders pit? $14 to go. It's like one car's just coming out of the pit lane up ahead. Some drivers are already pitting after Blaney was the first one to enter onto pit road that last lap. 40 viewers currently watching. We've had upwards of about 60 at one point throughout tonight's stream. 37 likes so far, so be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already, and subscribe if you haven't already for more daily NASCAR content. More NASCAR 21 Ignition tomorrow night on the channel. Another full race live stream on another road course at the Indianapolis road course for the next race of this final season. Third to last race before the playoffs. So both Elliott and Blaney battling for the win today are already locked into the postseason. They're just looking for that additional 5 playoff points plus more regular season points to try to help them there. Blaney really wide in turn 6. Keeps it on the pavement at least. Definitely could have been worse. Bowman back to 27th. Wonder if he's already made his final stop, though. Chase Elliott's in 4th, so that means he has already pitted and has cycled ahead of Ryan Blaney, having a faster stop. I think that's Elliott just coming out of the pits up ahead, if I'm not mistaken. So Elliott just now hit pit road. He's probably only got about 2 lap fresher tires than Ryan Blaney right now. Elliott would have pitted at lap 77, and Blaney would have pitted at lap 75. So 2 laps not going to be much of a difference. It's going to be one-on-one between these two that will likely cycle to the lead when green flag pit stops conclude. It'll be a battle for the eventual win. Again, if this race continues to stay green to the finish. Blaney to the outside of Elliott's teammate, Alex Bowman, who I believe had already pitted. Who's going to navigate through lap traffic better? It's pretty much going to be the question that will have to be answered on who's going to win this race. Now that they've both already made their final stop. Austin Dillon just going to pull out of the way and let Blaney go to the outside. Blaney appreciates that. Wish Newman would have done that a while back. That's in the past. 12 to go. BNFS Trains at Fullerton, welcome to the stream. Blaney behind Reddick. First car lap down at 6th is Reddick. Elliott behind him, I should say. And Elliott maybe getting held up in the dirty air behind the 8 car right now. And Blaney is on Elliott in a hurry. Elliott going to go to the inside of Reddick. At least took a peek at it. Blaney to the outside. He's going to get by both Reddick and Elliott for 3rd. And the eventual lead, once Kevin Harvick in 2nd, and whoever the race leader is between Kyle Busch or Denny Hamlin right now, hits pit road. It'll be Ryan Blaney out in front. 11 to go. Harvick's the next car in front of him in 2nd. Might not even have to wait for that 4 car to pit. Harvick to the lead. Hamlin was on pit road, just making his way off right now. So here's the battle between Kevin Harvick and Ryan Blaney, assuming that Harvick is already pit. Eric Jones coming out of the pits. Harvick jams on the brakes to get around him. Contact between the 4 and the 12. That stacked up the 12 car in the S's just a little bit. Blaney on the inside in turn 5. Beats Harvick back to the throttle, clear off the exit of the corner. Ryan Blaney to the lead as they come to 10 to go this time by. Now the 6th different time the 12 car has led today, and hopefully the final time to come back despite spinning in turn 5 earlier today to win this race. Finally knows it's just going to be a straight shootout to the end. About 2.5 seconds ahead of Elliott. Elliott right behind Harvick off of turn 7. Harvick did not pit that lap. I wonder if he has already pit. I don't think he has, but he might have. Surprised he would have cycled that far up in the running order from 5th to 1st. I guess it would have been possible if he pitted a handful of laps before Elliott and Blaney. Needless to say, Harvick's holding Elliott up just a little bit. Through turn 1, through the S's. Then he just has to make sure he doesn't pull a Road America and blow turn 1 in the late going. Or turn 5 like he did earlier in the race today. Drafts behind McDowell, pulls out a line to the inside into turn 6. He's going to put another car between him and Elliott as Blaney tries to pull away. That car's coming into the pits up ahead. Lap cars who have not made their final stop yet. They'll be out of the way. No problem there for Blaney to get through. 9 to go. Dawson, hey, that's not the first time they're mad at Harvick. Horsepower Racing, welcome to the stream. This will be the 8th. Oh, Briscoe! Pulling down to make a late block on Ryan Blaney, and Blaney was just able to get through into the bus stop.
Got one left. Clear, clear.
Blaney was going to try to outbrake the car who was already a lap down and about to go a second lap down. He threw a late block, and Blaney was just able to stay low enough to keep it off the 14 car. Now I want to see a caution late in this race. Don't want to see the 12 car wreck either, obviously. Caution didn't come out when Blaney spun in turn 5 earlier. Last lap for Blaney was a 1:11.989. Again, with this damage, he's definitely slower than what he was earlier. His fastest lap of the race was way back in stage 1 of a 1:09.981. This damage came onto his car. Lap 33, it was just past halfway through stage 2 when that happened. Clean air in front of the 12 car after getting around Cody Ware on entrance into the bus stop that time around. Billy Carjoy, welcome to the stream. I'll get to it. I didn't see you in the chat till just now. Thanks for tuning in. Screaming at me. Mark, I'm in the lead right now. Chase Elliott is in second. Blaney finished first and third in the stages today, so it's going to be another solid points day. Even though he did not sweep the stages like he did at New Hampshire, it's still going to be a good performance. And a likely opportunity that he is going to climb up even further in the regular season point standings. Came into the race 8th. Was 11th going into the race before that, gained 3 spots. Los Logano DNFs in a couple of these last few races in the regular season title chase. I don't think anybody's going to catch him. 5 laps to go this time by for Blaney. On the 2.45 mile road course in upstate New York. It's a solid performance, all things considered. Probably didn't lead as many laps as he thought he was going to. Not the complete dominance, but he definitely had the fastest car today, and all that matters is taking the car to victory lane by the end of the race. And looking for his 8th win of the season. Obviously already a career high for Blaney. Which would have been in the actual 2021 season when he had 3 wins. Looking for a first ever championship 4 berth. This season obviously trying to get him his first title as well. Quite a bit of lap traffic up ahead. Well, he's still going to have to deal with to the end of the race. Denny Hamlin, I saw, is in 3rd. Kyle Busch, 4th. Harvick likely back to 5th place, and that would be the top 5 behind the 12 who was leading. It's going to be Keselowski through the gears. Brad's fallen back to 12th. He must have had a bad final pit stop there with less than 15 laps to go and has fallen outside the top 10. He was in 8th the last we saw of him. Bell's back to 11th. He was in 9th the last we saw. Logano is back to 10th, so he's also lost a couple positions late. I hit the tire barriers at the exit of turn 5. That's where all the damage on the front of the car came from. And just got back on the same strategy at the end of the race to take the lead with about 11 to go. So it's cutting it a little close, but we're able to get back to the front eventually on normal pace. And everybody's plenty good on field at the end now. It was that corner in turn 5 where he went wide and hit it. He had to barely get back on the track right in front of James Davison in the 15. Back in the 38th place position. I don't think that anybody's DNF'd in this race today. I think all 40 cars still on the racetrack. Kurt Busch up to 9th. He was not off to a great start today. Didn't qualify well, but he's done a great job trying to get his way to the front despite the fact there hasn't been any cautions for incident. So outside of the 2 stage breaks, those have been the only restarts for him to try to really gain quite a bit of track position. Blaney didn't lap all those cars back at stage 1. It might have been harder for him to try to get through the field in this final stage with the damage, but he was able to do so. Only 5 cars on the lead lap. That helped a ton. That's why it was crucial to have such a dominating opening stage of the race like he had. He's coming in hot. Got into the back of Kurt Busch a little bit. That would have been horrible if that would have turned the 1 car around, knowing Busch is the last driver in above the cutoff line on points, and now he squeezes Blaney right back at turn 5. Blaney probably deserved that after getting into him the corner before. Probably should be racing this aggressively right now, knowing my circumstances. 2 to go this time by. Don't want to see a caution to force overtime in this situation. Harvick last car in the lead lap, not that much further ahead of Blaney. I don't know that Blaney's going to catch him or not. He may. Racing US 95, welcome to the stream. I sound younger than I look. That's probably because I am younger. I'm only 22. I'll be 23 in about 3 more weeks. Blaney's just trying to get to that white flag now. Haven't had a caution for incident today. He wants to keep it that way, or at least until he gets to the white flag. Oh, so racing Gus, gotcha. Welcome to the stream. White flag in the air, final lap of the race for Ryan Blaney. I look older than 23. It's the beard. My beard is shorter now, so I probably look like I'm in my mid to late 20s, but when it was longer, even though I keep the sides trimmed, I probably look like I'm 30. I get that a lot. I'm hoping that when I'm like 40, I still look like I'm 30. That's what I'm hoping for. I'm hoping I don't look like I'm 5 to 10 years older than what I actually am for like the rest of my life. Kevin Harvick about to go a lap down on the final lap of the race. It's only going to leave 4 cars on the lead lap as he'll lose a lap off turn 6. I don't think he was close enough to catch the 4th place car of Kyle Busch before the end of the race anyway. Blaney's going to park it behind Haley in turn 6. He'll get to the inside of Haley into 7. Checkered flag will be waving on the other side. Ryan Blaney is going to pick up win number 8 of the season, back-to-back for the first time this year. Blaney is going to win at the Glen, his 3rd road course win of the season. Let's go. I'm pumped. Racking up those playoff points late in the regular season. I have not won a championship on this game. I'm 0 for 2 right now. I want to win a championship on this game before we wrap things up with it. Chase Elliott ends up finishing in 2nd. Denny Hamlin 3rd. Kyle Busch 4th. And Kevin Harvick will round out the top 5 when all of them come back across the start-finish line. Tyler Reddick in 6th. Kyle Larson 7th. 8th place, Martin Truex Jr., Kurt Busch 9th, and Joey Logano will round out the top 10. All right. '15 turning 16 in April. So your birthday was just a couple months ago. Birthday the Michigan race or after? It's like a few days after. I think the race is on the 7th. My birthday's on the 11th of August. Alright. I took a picture of that. I gotta get the full finishing results. Means I have to do the points myself on this season. William Byron finished 22nd. Bowman 20th. I did not win by a full lap on Elliott, by the way. He was still trying to finish the race when I crossed the start-finish line. He's probably finished now. We'll see what that margin of victory is. 24 seconds. Wow, we really opened it up after he took the lead with about 11 to go. Well, I guess it passed him a couple laps prior, but Harvick didn't pit yet, so I didn't pass him until a couple laps after. But still, I mean, we absolutely pulled away. He was probably caught up in heavy lap traffic. He still finished 15 seconds ahead of Hamlin. And Hamlin and Busch were within a couple of seconds of each other. At least there was a close battle for 3rd. Camera Duty, welcome to stream. Still having issues playing this game on PS4. How do you feel about the game holding on? It's not great, but I'm just back on this game so I can finish what I started, essentially, and get this final season over with. That's why I cranked out 3 live streams last week, 3 more this week, and I'll probably consistently have like 3 or 4 until I finish this season up. And that's going to be it, at least until an NASCAR 22 update. So Ryan Blaney is a winner at Watkins Glen. There he is in victory lane. Again, his 8th win of the season. Only 9 top 10s. Goes to show that there is no consistency for himself this year, which is why he's in the back half of the top 10 in the regular season standings coming into the race today. But he has scored a lot of stage points this year, so it definitely could have been worse than what it was. And he does have 14 stage wins on the year as well, so he's definitely racking up quite a few playoff points. So that is going to wrap up tonight's live stream on the channel. Like and subscribe for more daily NASCAR content. I will see you guys tomorrow night for the next live stream. It'll be NASCAR 21 Ignition once again, and it is going to be the Indianapolis road course race on this game. For the next race of the season. Go to the community tab real quick on the channel and oh, I don't have it on the community tab. I meant to post that earlier. I'll have the streaming schedule up on the channel as soon as I end the stream tonight. Tomorrow night's live stream is going to start at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from the Indianapolis Road Course. A little bit later than tonight's start time. I do have to work Tuesdays and Wednesdays during the week at my full-time job, so I will see you guys tomorrow night at 7:30 Eastern Standard Time. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in tonight. It was a great night. It looks like over 1,000 views on the channel tonight, so great. Appreciate you guys tuning in. 40 likes at the end of the stream as well. That's awesome as well. One of the most on the NASCAR 21 Ignition live streams. So appreciate the support that, again, you guys give me as always. Next live race commentary will be Sunday for the New Hampshire Cup Series race, so promoting that as well on the channel. And I'll see you guys tomorrow night for more NASCAR 21 Ignition live race commentary once again. Thank you, everybody, and I'll see you. Have a good rest of your Monday night.